That was Dark Horse there by Katy Perry, featuring Juicy J here on Shmu FM 99.8 FM. Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Now, before we start the review, I was kind of shocked. I had already seen the first 10 minutes of this and it's like, okay, the film literally started and I was like, this is all the stuff they showed before 300.
Yeah.
The whole kind of thing about...
But that stuff was the main stuff that they had shown in all the trailers as well. So I was very impressed at how they'd managed to we're only going to show them the first 10 minutes of this film. And that just shows how good the first 10 minutes were to be able to entice you into it.
I wasn't maybe quite as impressed as I would be had I not seen it already.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very impressive opening sequence. And I think we'll do the kind of general thoughts and then some of the spoilers after the next song, which I kind of walked into this film thinking, okay, I like pretty much all the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff apart from Iron Man 2, but Iron Man 2 in general is just
it wasn't great.
One of the most disappointing films of this generation, along with the Burt and Alice in Wonderland. But of all, I'd probably rank the first Captain America nearer the bottom of the... I mean, don't get me wrong, all of the MCU stuff, film-wise, is good stuff, but I'd probably rank Captain America nearer the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But that says more about the quality of most of the MCU stuff, apart from...
It's not that it's a bad film, it's just that it's nowhere near the best of them.
So I walked into this film kind of thinking, okay, let's see what this is like, let's hope it will be good. And I walked out of this film just thinking, that might be... I mean, it's in like a two-way tie. There's the Avengers... Then it's a three-way tie between this, Thor, and the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
As to which one I think is the best one that isn't the Avengers. But this film I had a few little nitpicky issues with it. But for the most part, this film is absolutely fantastic.
This film delivered above what I think most of the other films have done so far. Not in the fact that it's the best film, but the fact that each film builds on the last one of how good the script's going to be, how good the direction's going to be. They just keep getting better. And I think this one had delivered the best. Changed, anyway, from the first one.
And I was really, really impressed by how the writers were able to craft a really, really good thriller.
Yeah.
It's not just a superhero film.
It was a political thriller. That was what this film was. It felt almost like a Cold War era spy drama.
Yeah, with the whole thing about the theorem as well.
Yeah.
And for large portions of the second act, it's just Black Widow and Captain America on the run, and yet it's so engaging.
Yeah.
We should probably set it up. Basic plot is that following the events of the first film, Captain America is still trying to kind of adjust to the modern world. In a very nice touch, you may have. This is in. I think this has been heavily commented on since people saw the film. He has a list.
He does.
That is on the screen for about 5 seconds of things that he
Star Wars, Star Trek,
missed out on. And there was a weird piece of news that the contents of the list actually changes depending on which international version you see.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose. Well, in the British one, it's got the World Cup 1966,
and it's like, why would Captain? I understand why they've put it in from a marketing perspective, but why would Captain America be interested in World Cup 1966? So yeah, he's still trying to adjust, and essentially what then happens is Nick Fury shows him this kind of program, the Insight Project, which is essentially national surveillance using helicarriers.
Yes, but helicarriers which are deadly
Yes.
and can
And
kill
have
you
got
within a
nukes
second.
in them. And he doesn't agree with it, so he tells them this, and it eventually ends up with essentially him. It's essentially Captain America versus the rest of Shield
Yeah.
for most of the film, and then the Winter Soldier just kind of comes into it. Like I said, I was surprised by, even though there's not that much action in like the second act, it was really, really well written and really, really well done. Like I said, I do have a few problems with it, but we'll get into those when we talk about some of the spoilers after the next song. But high recommendation, and it's like I literally came out of the film thinking, if that Guardians of the Galaxy has got to hit a very, very, very high bar to surpass that.
Yeah, I agree, but I want to speak briefly about Anthony Mackie's character, because obviously this is an entirely new superhero in inverted commas, who we've
it's not really a superhero. He's
not.
he's kind of like Batman.
He's kind of like Iron Man, if you think about it. I'm going to class him as a superhero because Iron Man doesn't have any powers either. Anthony Mackie was this kind of person who's come in without having any previous experience of this character, of this sort of backstory, and I thought he nailed it. He had that right kind of balance between, we've got to go and I'm going to follow Captain America for, even if it drives me to the edge of the world and I die. And he had the right kind of, well, wait a minute, there's better ways of doing this than what we think of.
Anthony Mackie's just a very, very underrated actor in general. And I honestly didn't think he was in it enough for the first two acts, but he's a major part of the third act, so it kind of balances out. But no, he was very, very good in it.
I would also like to say that Sebastian Stan, when you first came into contact with him in the film, if I had not known who he was from being a bit of a comic book fan, then that would not have clicked for me.
And it's funny because we were talking about Sullivan Stapleton in 300 last week, about, you said he was trying to do the strong and silent villain, and it's like, okay, Sullivan Stapleton, study this if you want to know how to do the strong and silent villain.
Interestingly enough, Avengers Age of Ultron starts shooting in, it's either already started or it starts within the next couple of weeks.
I think it started because there were a few set photos relating to, I think one of them relates to the
Hawkeye.
What's in the end credits scene, which obviously we'll talk about
later. I watched an interview today, and at the time of the interview, it started filming in 2 weeks. Neither Anthony Mackie nor Sebastian Stan had been approached for roles in Age of Ultron. So we could be seeing that be the spin-off of the third Captain America movie.
Yeah.
That is pure...
Based on their
just
performances
theory.
in this, I wouldn't mind seeing either of those.
Yeah.
There's now another spin-off movie that I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing after watching a certain actor's performance in this and how the character evolved as a result of this film. But that's more, we'll talk about that after the next song, which is the spoiler section, because there is a lot to talk about.
Yes, there really is. Now, Tim, I get the